Hello folks, we are back already with another Dying Light the Beast video today. Given the massive announcement made on Thursday the 16th of October, which was just a few days ago, I wanted to recover the topic to spread more awareness of the upcoming changes, diving into exactly what those changes are likely to be, as well as covering a few other things along the way too. So on Thursday just gone, we did receive this update right here. It outlines the following content/changes coming to the Beast within the next 11 weeks, with the three biggest being New Game Plus, Legend Levels, and Nightmare Difficulty. Now, we all know what New Game Plus is and exactly how it's likely to be implemented. Once completing the game, you can start another playthrough, only this time you bring along everything you previously had, such as equipment, skills, blueprints, etc. But the enemies and general experience will be tougher. This is of course a much requested feature by current players, as it adds a wealth of replayability to the game, and once it finally arrives, we will likely see some resurgence in player base. Now, legend levels are far less self-explanatory if you've never dabbled in Dying Light before, and they are slightly different in both of the previous games, so it's likely we will get a new variation for the Beast too. In the first game, you could unlock the Legend skill tree, and then within here you could invest skill points to increase specific damage types like barehanded, bladed, blunt, etc. And although it has been a little while for myself, I think you can also increase other stats like max health, stamina, etc. There are 25 levels for each, and there are 10 in total, so effectively giving us an additional 250 levels to work towards. And then in Dying Light 2, which I've never played, it does look awfully similar, albeit this time there are 15 skills to upgrade, presumably adding slightly more variety to Dying Light 1's options. But it is all still very much the same, in that it's there to serve the purpose of giving us a lot more to work towards over a much longer period of time, which I have always very much appreciated within games I've been hooked on. Now, in regards to what we can expect for the Beast, it is likely we receive the majority, if not all, of the previous Legend skills. However, it's possible we may be given a portion of them now, and then more further down the line, as this is exactly what occurred for Dying Light 2, where I believe it initially received the first 250 Legend levels, and then later on received an additional 150, taking the maximum up to 400. So we may see similar developments with the Beast, but we'll just have to wait and see what the level cap actually is. Each skill will typically have 25 levels, so 10 skills equals 250, and if this is where we do start with the Beast, then it's likely that over time they will update it further. There is also the inclusion of additional skills that benefit the Beast form specifically. Given that it is an entirely new mechanic to the franchise, it's possible some of the Legend skills may affect our Beast damage, health, and general output potential. It is all speculation right now. Based on how Legend levels are done within both Dying Light 1 and 2, I'd say we can expect 250 levels for definite, and the 10 skills are likely to be the 10 standard skills from either of the previous games. At least that's my best guess for now. And then we do of course have Nightmare Difficulty. The Beast currently has 3 difficulty settings, being Story, Survival, and Brutal, with of course Nightmare being the next hardest difficulty coming in after Brutal, which a lot of longtime fans have been asking for almost daily. In the previous games, experience, loot, and rewards were all tuned up to the max whenever playing on Nightmare. However, the game is absolutely brutal and forces you to get better in order to survive, so I certainly understand the appeal, and whilst this edition is definitely here to serve the hardcore players the most, it is nice to see that all types of players are being considered with these upcoming updates. Now, beyond these 3 main additions, we do also have a PUBG Mobile collab, which we can all ignore unless you play PUBG Mobile, in which case you will want to find more details on that elsewhere. But then we do also have ray tracing for PC, new weapon executions, visual and quality of life improvements, and more. With more likely being further quality of life, as well as bug fixes, performance improvements, etc. It's very likely that we will receive a mixed bag of these updates within the coming weeks. They are indeed set to be spread over the next 11 weeks, but we've no idea how many updates we will actually get. The difference between there being only 2 updates in the next 11 weeks, as opposed to say 4 instead, is obviously quite apparent. More updates would be better, as that suggests we will get portions of these changes one after the other, as opposed to one big update that brings half of them, and then another big update bringing the other half. This is me being nitpicky, and all it really serves is for some of these changes to arrive a few weeks sooner than they would otherwise. But it does also all come down to Techland's progress and schedule for these updates anyway. Since launch, we have had 2 medium-sized updates and 3 much smaller hotfixes, which isn't bad considering launch was only just over a month ago. And of course, with this announcement of the upcoming changes and additions, they did also start off an 11-week community event, which we will cover in just a moment. So that is all to say they appear to be very busy and hard at work fleshing out the beast further, whilst trying to maintain the initial hype from launch. Since covering this game, it has become pretty apparent that Techland were a little bit uncertain about how the beast was going to be received, but now that it is a confirmed success and they can confidently commit to it and pour additional resources in, it does appear that is exactly what they're doing. Which also makes sense from a creator's standpoint. You do have to be mindful with where you allocate your time and resources, especially with something as high stakes as AAA game development. So this is all basically just to say, I'm very happy this is the outcome for the beast currently, that the game has been received positively and passionately by fans, and that this has stoked the flames within Techland to enhance the game and its overall experience. It is definitely a win for gaming, and these announcements have gotten me very excited, especially as someone coming back to the Dying Light franchise after all this time. Anyway, as of now, we do currently have an 11-week-long community event. The first week is active already and requires us to sever both 30 million and 60 million zombie limbs in order to receive the Lumberjack car skin and Woodchopper axe respectively. It's Sunday night as I'm writing this, but the video will have a more up-to-date figure on screen right now. As I'm writing, it's currently 24.4 million, and by the time this video is published and any of you folks grace me with your presence, we will have hit the halfway mark in terms of time, with the weekend just gone likely being our busiest period within the 7 days, which is basically to say, it doesn't look like we are getting that Woodchopper, folks. The event changes week every Thursday at 3 PM British summertime, where we will receive new tasks and potential rewards to be earned, with weeks 4 and 8 having epic rewards, and then week 11 having legendary. The final week will run from Christmas Day right through to the 7th of January, so we're either being given extra time over the holidays, or we can expect a really big task or two to be complete as a community. In order to receive any of these rewards, you will need to take part in each week's challenges, and we should receive our rewards either once the challenge is complete or at the end of the week. I will be covering each new week in short video format, which will release every Thursday from here on out until at least the event is over. But as and when we receive the larger updates for the content and changes mentioned previously in this video, I will also be releasing these longer news videos. Now, beyond all of this, it does very much beg the question of what we can expect from the beast come the new year. This event, these changes, and the new content all take us right up to the first week of the new year, where presumably we will shortly have to receive further word from Techland regarding what we can expect throughout the year. I don't know if a year-long roadmap would be a likely possibility, or if they'd shorten it down to half a year or just a few months, but a roadmap does seem to be their style, and Techland are not afraid to announce things a little bit earlier than some other studios ever would. We know both Dying Light 1 and 2 received at least one sizable DLC installment each, and whilst the Beast was originally DLC for Dying Light 2, that simply outgrew its scope and became the third installment instead, it's still likely to receive the same treatment as its predecessors and get at least one DLC installment. I have stated this before, but it should definitely be highlighted that Techland have said they consider the Beast to be Dying Light 3 and not some spin-off to the series, which is all to say, yes, it's very likely we do eventually get DLC here, especially given how enthusiastic Techland are currently being. The other games also received other content updates, bringing small arenas, dungeons, trials, etc., which we can also expect to see some variation of in the future. It would be speculation to begin guessing what that could be, but the point does still remain, it is all very likely to still happen. Now, as for the previous video's community comments, here's what I've picked for today. Really hope we get New Game Plus soon, because I really want to replay the Beast with that. It's really rare I want to replay a game almost immediately after I already finished it. Nice news video, by the way, very concise and to the point. I'm with you, November Guy 7087. I'm taking the rest of my current playthrough slowly, in hopes that New Game Plus and other additions have arrived before I'm done. Next, we have, think the devs will add a UV bar blueprint or UV traps like in the first game. I do really hope so, Cameron Bauman 2090. Anything UV related is a very welcome addition as far as I'm concerned, and I'm surprised we don't already have more UV related options. As always, do keep the comments coming, folks, as it is a really good way for me to stay tuned in with general opinions and what the average player is liking/disliking, etc. Now, of course, as outlined before, I'll be back over the coming weeks and months with short videos for each new week of the event, but as and when we receive sizable updates, you can expect additional larger videos like this one. Outside of this, we have Bloodlines 2 arriving tomorrow, and I'll be covering its news in full along the way, and we also have Arc Raiders arriving at the end of the month. The server slam ended today, and now now I've got plenty of footage, I will have plenty of Arc Raiders videos out within the next few days/weeks or so. So do stay tuned for all the latest updates. Anyway, that would be it for this one, folks. I'll be back soon with plenty more, and I do of course have a range of guide and news videos on the channel already, so do feel free to stop on by and check things out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, folks, and until next time, peace.